Well, Jim, congratulations. There's nothing like a last-minute equaliser, but you really feel your side deserved that today?
I think the way we sort of worked extremely hard. I'd have been really disappointed in the nature of the defeat if it had been to 2 long throws. But look, we worked on it in training. I mean, they've caught Leamington by surprise last week, early goal from it. Salford's nearly conceded from it, so we knew it was a real threat. Credit to them, they worked extremely hard. They're a difficult side to get behind because they drop deep. A big back four, they've got a big screen with Jamie Maguire and Keane in there, so they give you no opens. So we had to graft hard. It wasn't a pretty game. It was a man's game, and I was delighted for the effort that we did put in and the endeavour we showed in the last 20 minutes that we got the opportunity to get something out of the game.
You salvaged a point in the 97th minute of the game. People are asking around here where that 7 minutes has come from, but I think you feel Boston themselves, it's their fault that there were 7 minutes added on.
As I was explaining to the fans behind me, it's a minimum of 5 minutes, and then during that 5 minutes they were kicking balls out the stand, the centre forward went down injured, the other lad went down injured. I think some managers think game management is crafty, and for me, all you're doing, and the referees, a strong enough referee will realise you're trying to kill the game, and we'll just add it on. And fortunately, we had a strong enough referee to add on the time wasting that was apparent in the last 5 minutes, and they'll be disappointed, but they've only got themselves to blame. I've never seen a team that's so manly to go down so often and stay down. So ultimately that game management has cost them, because the referees added on the minutes that lost them 2 valuable points and left them in the relegation zone.
Let's go back to the 2 that you conceded. Long throws like that, when they're fired in at that sort of trajectory, that sort of pace, they're difficult to defend, in fairness, aren't they? How do you plan against that?
Well, we had a couple of different strategies, but FIFA and UEFA are doing a lot about the game, but I still think that why have we got throw-ins in the game? Really, I mean, I know we could have kick-ins and everybody said then it becomes a set play, but surely that's got to be better than a situation where, if you handball it nowadays, you get like a yellow card and you get penalties against you, and yet most of the game today was spent with them chucking the ball into the box. And then there's no offside, so it's very difficult to hold the line, and all they did is basically, we expect them to do what they did against Leamington, and then they changed slightly. And got themselves where they took our spare players out of the game, they took our keeper out of the game, and they're always favourite if they're ball side of the man. And all they did in the first one is, I was more disappointed in the second one. The first one was difficult because he steps off his man, and if he gets a touch from there, it's in. Keeper can't do anything because of the bodies. Not a foul, he's just blocked off by a wall of players, but it's a nonsense in football when you think about we're trying to promote skill development, that you allow people to chuck a ball in and there's nobody offside. I mean, that's why offside was brought in, to stop goalkeepers being harassed and bullied in the way that they were today. But credit to them, it's an asset, it's a weapon, and they've used it really well today and got themselves 2 goals, got the opening goal last week and then played on the counter-attack. So there was always a danger that once we conceded 1 and the second, and that they were going to hurt us on the counter-attack. But I thought when we were stretched, we defended very, very well in difficult circumstances. And then we just needed to show a little bit of quality, a bit of composure in and around their half. And we got a bit of quality from Scott Duxbury, stood up the back post, and I'd moved Jimmy Ball into a more aggressive 10 position. So I knew that if we got anything in the box, that he's got the shot and head. And fortunately for us, he's that extra training, that extra athleticism paid off in the final minute.
I was going to say, I mean, you've talked a lot this season about players maybe not taking on board instructions or following plans, but you change your system, you change your formation in the second half, and they really saw that through, didn't they? And they deserve that point.
Yeah, we changed at half time because we felt that Jason was being knocked around a bit. I thought it was quite apparent that they weren't going to break out of the ship. I said to the lad, the first goal's critical. If they get the first goal, we're going to find it difficult to break them down. We could have played a bit more football and pulled them around, but it wasn't that kind of game. They hustled and they harried, and I said to the lads that the nature of that game plan, we've done it to other teams. We've really pressed them hard first 20-30 minutes, got the lead, and then suffered as the game got on. ultimately we knew that there'd be a few cracks, to give away the odd foul, to give away set plays, and because I didn't think they defended the box very well. There was a lot of nervousness, a lot of ratty little play, and we got the free kick. Matty took it brilliantly, and then obviously I think we got another free kick and pinned them in, and then obviously from the second phase we scored. So there's some things you can't prepare for in a game like that. It doesn't come. It's not about tactics. It's about mentality. It's about endeavour. It's recognising what's going on and what hurts teams. But I thought their manager would be really, really pleased at their attitude, their intensity, the way they executed what they did. They'll just be disappointed that they've got caught. You know, they couldn't hang on and keep what would have been another valuable 2 points for them. As you say, great free kick from Matty, 5 in 5 for him. But how pleased are you for Jimmy Ball to get that equalising goal late on? He's worked hard for that. No, there was an incident that epitomised what Jim does. I mean, we know that we've been conceding a lot of goals down our left, and there was an incident when Scott Duxbury, difficult, poor yellow card he took. We knew we were up, once the game opened up and we went a little bit more dynamic up front, that we'd probably find our fullbacks been exposed. But Jimmy Ball's got into a great covering position and picked up the ball so many times. So he did that job side of it. I thought as they took that player off, we didn't need him. We just had to play a little bit more adventurous and pushed him up. And effectively, he was playing to flick on to Jason, because I thought Jason did very little in terms of bringing everybody else into the game. So what we need to do is to try use other people to bring others into the game. But look, there's still stuff to work on. I thought our set plays were poor today. Players weren't creating the opportunity for the 2v1. Even when Sam Walker come on, I'm having to tell him to go and take the set play. So there's so much more for us to work on. And you've got limited time, and you've got to maximise that time with the things that work for you. But today was like last week was about intensity and quality and sharp football in the final third. Today was about grit and endeavour and fighting, and the lads never gave up. And like I said, I'm really pleased for them, because I don't know what people might have been thinking, 10-5 about me and about the team, but maybe some of them might be eating the words now that that goal went in. I think some of the Boston fans might as well. Did you have a Louis van Gaal moment there when you went down on your backside rolling, clutching your leg? They were saying the time's up, and I said, well, what do you expect when people fall over? Big fellas fall over and getting cramped in the last minute. But like I said, they think that's crafty, and we won't labour the point. They think that's crafty, they think that's clever. I've never, whether it's the spirit of the game or whether it's things that come back to haunt you, trying to keep the ball in the corner, trying to waste time, it sucks energy out of what you're trying to do. You should just get on with the game, get back in shape, defend it, let the referee do his job, play the 5 minutes out, game done. If you try to kill the game, all you're doing is killing your own energy and basically allowing the referee to add on time. So in that sense, I was just, because in the heat of the moment, they couldn't hear what I was saying. So it was replicating what their big number 9 did, which was fall over. To be fair, he should have scored. And he's missed the target. It's allowed us to get set for a goal kick, but that's where the referee has every right to add on time. So, like I said, I'd be really disappointed, because I'm sure game management, when they're in the lead, has helped them get points at Leamington and get them and will get them more points in the future. But I think what we did is we sort of, like you said, changed our mentality, changed our game plan, become more adventurous and committed without causing ourselves too many problems. And like I said, I think just in terms of the overall effort we can put into the game, that we deserve something out of it. And people have been talking, even in their programme notes, they've been saying about our away record. But I'm delighted for the lads, because they've shown a lot of effort at Darlington, they've shown a lot of effort at Nuneaton, and again today they're 3 difficult places to go, and we've got a result and we've picked up points. And like I said, I would have liked to have 9 points from the last 4 games. Now we've got 7, so I'm pleased with that turnaround. Now, really, we're in a position with the results to go on it, that surely becomes a really exciting game. It gives us an opportunity that if we beat them, we go above them, and that might put us in the playoffs. So let's hope we have a bumper crowd and a fantastic atmosphere and the kind of performance that we've seen at Edgy Park against Chorley, and then we can all look forward to where we want to be, which is pushing on and pushing higher. Was it important to get something today, given that I think the next 3 league games are all against playoff sides, aren't they? It was important to get something today? Yeah, because like you said, but that's it's like when you lose a home game, the pressure on you to go away from home, and that's the lads responded to that challenge at Nuneaton. We've obviously had a home defeat and then built on that with the FC United game. So we're going to come to some very difficult places. I don't think we caused ourselves too many of our own problems today. I thought we just couldn't handle the long throws, which, you know, it's like I said, because of the rules of the game and the intensity and physicality of their players, it's difficult. So I don't think that we've caused ourselves our own problems, which we have in previous games. But today, I felt that if we'd score goals, but we needed to be patient and persevere right to the final whistle, and we did that. And we you know, a point's a really good result when you look at the mid-table. Every point's going to be valuable. Every goal's going to be valuable. And like I said, we're tucked in nicely. We'd like to be higher, but like I said, we've worked really hard over the last 4 or 5 games to get out of certain little poor practices. You know, conceding early in the second half. We've changed that with the way that we warm up for the second half, and people have been lamenting the fact that we've perhaps not had the fitness or the mentality to score late on, and I think we've shown that we have that today.
It was great drama. Well done today.
Thanks so much.